Welcome back for some more World of Warcraft Classic multiboxing. I've gone ahead and loaded up my Warlock character, who is the second of the four alts I'm going to create. Now, I went through and edited. I moved around the save variable files in my computer that they're under the World of Warcraft directory under the W2TF folder. In there you'll find a list of all your accounts, and by moving some of the save variables around from account to account, I was able to transfer the profile that I had created when I did my priest video. So now I can load it, as you just saw me do, and now you can see the very familiar layout we have. I'm actually going to change this and create a new profile, which I'm just going to call Lock. So now that profile will be active, and any changes I make will go into that one. That way I can copy those saved variable files to the third account when I go and create that character, which I believe will be a druid healer. Okay. So it looks like the first thing I need to do is go to my macros and move this wait key over and replace the attack key. Let's see, I'm going to move Shadow Bolt down to 10. Let's see now, Warlocks don't have healing spells. But I do have a buff. And I have Refreshing Spring Water as well. I'm going to move my buff down to 30. And I'm going to move this Refreshing Spring Water down here too. We'll make that one 30. And since I have a buff, I'll go ahead and make my V key. I will set that up so that it's a combination drink and buff myself button. But before we go and do that, we'll just change some of the first buttons. This F key is the one I hit the most. It's a single target DPS key. I think I'm going to change this. And instead of having it set no condition wait, I'm going to have it set no condition Shadow Bolt. But I will need a Shadow Bolt macro. I think the Warlock icons are near the bottom. And they're all grouped together. There we are. So, assist party 1, Shadow Bolt. We'll hit OK. You don't need the rank 1 there. And for anything but healing spells, I think it's kind of necessary. Having just cast Shadow Bolt will automatically cast the highest rank spell, so no need to keep the rank 1 on the end. Okay. That icon seems like it's grayed for some reason. I'm not sure what's up with that. Probably because it's a macro. But anyway, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste this here. And there as well. Oh. There we go. Okay, so my V key. Let's see, we'll start out with buff inactive. And I don't need macros right now. So if the buff is inactive on myself, then I want, or in the name of that buff is demon skin. So if the demon skin buff is inactive, we want this to set action 31 demon skin. And that's pretty important. We want to keep that up all the time. So that's going to be overridden by 1. But we're not going to change that just yet because we want to add more conditions. Now, we want to go with mana lost. If mana lost of my character is greater than, let's see, those heal me for 151. Let's make it 100. Let's make it 80. That'll definitely go up as we level. We're going to set action to refreshing spring water. Now the question is, do I want him to drink before he buffs, or just, yeah, we'll move it up there. Okay. But now we want to add a couple of extra conditionals. These ones aren't going to affect the button. They're not going to be like these ones where it sets the action. What they're going to be for is to simply override certain things. So we want to add a buff active on the player, and this is going to be the drink buff. So whenever you drink to regain mana, you also gain a buff that's called drink. And I'm going to set this to no response. And I'm going to move it up to the top. So, what this means is if my mana is less than 80, or if I've lost more than 80 mana, my V button is going to switch to the refreshing spring water icon. If I then hit the V key, it will drink that refreshing spring water. I will get the buff drink, and then this condition will become active. And we're going to set this override here to 1, so that when this becomes active, this is no longer active. So meaning that when I have that drink button, which means I've already pressed the refreshing spring water button, after that it's going to override this action, and it will then move on to the next action, which will be, say that I don't have this buff. It will then, as I'm drinking, it will show that I need to apply the demon skin buff. Once that's been done, then it'll move on to weight. Okay. If that makes sense. So I also want to add one more condition here. And this one is going to be in combat. And there's going to be no response to this condition. It is merely an override condition. And we're going to set it in position 2. So we're going to go back here to mana lost. And we're going to put that as an override. And you do that. If you can't see, it's 1, space 2. And that goes there. So that means that if I've lost more than 80 mana, but I'm in combat, because this in combat condition is true, it's going to override this one, meaning that one will not become active and the action won't be carried out. So then it'll move on to the next one and then the next one. I'm going to come here to Demon Skin. Now I don't want either of these conditions, the buff active or in combat condition, to apply to this Demon Skin buff. I can cast this spell in combat. I cannot drink refreshing spring water in combat. And, if I'm in combat, I may very well want to cast that Demon Skin armor. So, we're not going to have it overridden by this. It wouldn't matter if that one was really... we could. It would just mean that it won't change to this Demon Skin armor while I'm drinking, which, actually, we'll go ahead and do that. You'll have to stop drinking and stand up to cast that spell. But we will want to override it by 3. We don't want to cast this if we have less than 80 mana. We want to drink first. And then, so we'll go ahead and add that conditional. So that one's overridden by 1 and 3. And then this 5th conditional, if neither of these things are true, if I have Demon Skin and I'm full of mana, I don't want either of these to show anymore. So I want it to just switch to the weight. But I still need to override them. So if this one's true, this one needs to not be true. So we're going to override it by 3 and then 4. See, and now that I've done that, my overrides are all working correctly. I can now cast Demon Skin. And there it goes. Now if I say take Demon Skin off and recast it, now I'm below 8. I've not lost more than 80 mana, and it switches so that I will now drink if I press that key. And I'll go ahead and do that. And now that I have the drink buff, that drink icon goes away. And if I move and the drink goes away, there I am. The buff goes away. And that's how that works. Now, you can see we are missing some buttons there. Go ahead and go back into our macro screen. And we can actually, rather than going to the change actions, we can actually drag and drop these ones now. So that one goes in 6. Follow goes in any of those. And putting that 1 in 1 will change the others as well. Now, I think... well, I want to say we're ready to go. Now, I guess we'll move these to the right. Alright, I guess that's it for yet another video. Yeah, it's too bad that I don't have any dots. yeah, that'll have to wait till another video. Um, yeah, I think that's everything I can do with this character. He's all set up. So until next time, I will be signing out.